Hi, welcome to Winter Books. If it is my first video that you are watching, I'm a writer. My name is Anna Winter, and I'm working on a series of science fiction novels that I hope to publish later this year. And events in my novels are happening at a school where people learn how to do time travel. And time travel is pretty hard and complicated business. So uh, part of their curriculum is learning how to deal with different issues, emotional and psychological, also taking care of their health and fitness. And it's not a very big part of my book. Don't get scared. It's not all about how to eat right and how to deal with your anxiety. But it's a very important part for me because that's kind of a dream that I have. That school where people would teach you how to acquire skills that are so important for our life. But there are no schools like that. We really have to learn it the hard way, unfortunately. And that's what I wanted to begin, at least, to talk about in this post, about taking care of yourself and why it is important. Well, it seems funny to me, but a lot of people really don't even think about taking care of themselves. Unfortunately, our society model of dealing with our health and well-being is you kind of go along the best you can, and then you get sick, and then you go to the doctor. And usually at that point you realize, man, it's just so far from working well. Actually, it works pretty badly most of the time. And there are lots of reasons for it, but I will make a separate post probably about, in general, about our healthcare system, because it might be useful for some people, the insight that I have into it. So right now I just wanted to talk about other possibility, which would have been much better. Instead of this model sickness doctor, would be much better to have a model like wellness and prevention of troubles. And on the other side would be self-care instead of doctor. Because once you go to the doctor, you realize that doctor actually doesn't have a chance to figure out what's wrong with you, because you're a complicated person and the doctor has like 15 minutes to spend with you. And actually they usually rely very much on what you can tell them and what you know about yourself. And that's also another big problem, because most of us don't really pay attention to what's happening with our body, to what's happening in our mind. We really don't know much about ourselves, and that is, I think, where it all begins. If we want to take care of ourselves, we definitely want to start with understanding ourselves. And every time I'm thinking about doing a YouTube post, I think about my friend Christina, to whom my first book is dedicated. She passed away from breast cancer in 2014. And one of the last things that she said to her friends was, "Take care of yourselves, guys. Look what happened to me." And you don't really have to be scared of cancer, though they say that 41% of Americans will get diagnosed with it, and that's not really very beautiful view of the future. But there are a lot of other reasons, right? We all want to be happy and live a fulfilling life, and well-being and health are such an important part of it. And yet we hardly ever do anything about it. We always hope that somebody else will take care of it for us. And then comes that big surprise that actually our healthcare system or our psychological care system, it's not really well equipped for doing it. And it makes sense that we should be our own caretakers. So I just wanted to say in this post that two main things that we can start, of course, doing to change our well-being is inquiring into yoga and food. And you might be surprised that I start with yoga, but I did it for the same reason as I mentioned before, that I strongly believe that there is no such thing as one diet that fits all. I believe that we all have our unique needs, and except for ourselves, nobody can really figure out how to deal with it, what we need to eat. I'm not saying that we shouldn't get help. We should get help, all the help we want. What I'm trying to say is that we need to put a lot of work into understanding what is it that what are our problems and what would work for us. And trying what worked for other people most of the time is not helpful. And in order to do that, we have to know something about ourselves. And for me, I was only in my late 30s when I started really getting to know myself. And one of the things that helped me with that was yoga. The funny thing about the word yoga is that everybody heard it, but most people don't really know what it means. Some people think that it's just kind of exercise. And depending on the personal experience, you might think that it's very vigorous exercise, strengthening exercise, or you might think that it's a lot of stretching that will make you limber. But an interesting thing, one of the main sources of yogic knowledge, a book written by Patanjali called Yoga Sutras, it doesn't even mention any kind of exercises at all, and yet it is the foundation of the yogic understanding of yoga. So yoga is much more than just some kind of exercise. Actually, yoga is a school of thought, a philosophy of how to deal with life, how to deal with your psychological well-being, with your mental and emotional and physical well-being. And it starts with these issues, actually. It starts with ethics, and exercises come later. And I'll make a separate bigger post about yoga where I will explain a little bit more. But right now I just want to say that yoga, especially the way it is right now in the West, it has so many schools and branches, and as anything that is so big in volume, it has, it kind of reflects the human race in it. You can find all kind of people there with all kind of agendas. but still it's a huge wealth of knowledge, and modern science is beginning to study it and to confirm the effects of yoga methods and techniques of dealing with a lot of issues. And my favorite um, school is therapeutic yoga, and it was founded in the United States by Gary Kravtsov, and it's called American Vini Yoga Institute. I am encouraging you just to Google yoga and to get a little bit, just to get to know what it is all about and what it offers. And I'm mentioning therapeutic yoga because it is the most powerful one if you want to address different problems in your life. Unfortunately, it's not so very easy to find teachers who teach it to a group. They do teach a lot of students, I mean, a lot of people certify a lot of yoga teachers every year, but usually they do personal work because everybody has their own needs. But even if you can't find therapeutic, a student, I should say, a teacher from that particular school, you can try to look around and see if you can find some yoga teacher that suits you. I would just caution from getting very ambitious, even if you're young and healthy. If you jump into something like very vigorous Ashtanga yoga, you can hurt yourself. It's always a good idea to start with some introduction workshop where people explain it, and to start trying different kinds of yoga. But not just jumping into a class, but trying to go to a workshop where they explain to you the alignment, the technique, and what to look for, and how to be careful about it. So I guess that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this post, and I'm wishing you all good luck in trying to figure out where to find solutions for whatever problems you might have. We're all human. We all have some kind of issues in life. So good luck with that. Thank you very much for watching my channel.